Hey. So, V3 is coming out, at least here in Denmark. A lot of people have gotten their books via mail. And I reached out to a couple of people and asked them to send me some initial lists. And this one is from Ryan Davis in the US. Now, I did have to, because he hasn't got his rulebook yet, but he has got the force organization chart. So I did have to reconstruct the points values for the different units. But it was just, reaching out to different competitive players and asking them, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking could be done here in V3? Where do you see yourself potentially going with this? And Ryan, he came back to me with a horrendous list. I'm gonna show you this. This is just, wow, man. It's indirect spam, and we've been seeing this a few times, and people have been reacting on social media saying, "Oh man, you cannot play this. It's horrible, and no one is ever going to win." I beg to differ. I think you could. So let me show you what Ryan is thinking about with his Americans. Let me just get the right document for you. Here we go. There we go. And maybe enhance. There we go. So, right, he starts with a rifle platoon because you have to have a rifle platoon. So, and it's very bog standard, I think. It's got an inexperienced platoon commander, and then 2 squads of 10 riflemen. So, is 10 regular riflemen? Is that good? I'm not sure yet, but one thing I can say is in version 3 you'll very, very, very quickly start losing men. So having large squads of infantry, I think, could be beneficial. It could be one of the ways you can do this and still, make it across the board. So 10 riflemen, yeah, I think it's a good start. It's a good experiment to make to start with, because in version 2, I would always recommend that regular riflemen, especially for Americans, be a 6-man or a 7-man squad. But for V3, I am not sure that truism counts anymore. Then he buys the heavy weapon platoon, and this is where it's at for Americans, I think. He buys an inexperienced platoon commander and 3 bazookas, taking care of any need he'll ever have to have anti-tank, right? Those 3 bazookas are going to absolutely shot down any sort of enemy tank formations. They're just very, very deadly. And he brings 3 MMGs, taking care of his long-range shooting as well. So he has all the riflemen to take care of 24-inch shooting, and then the MMGs to take care of 36-inch shooting. Now, they are going to be fixed, but I do think that in V3, MMG teams are more valuable. I actually bought my own recently. So, yeah, I am going to try and field them and see if they can do stuff. And then 3 inexperienced heavy mortars, 60 points. Now, they are a little expensive, and I did chat a little bit with Ryan about maybe, cutting these down to medium mortars, which are definitely cheaper, right? And you could even run them as regular, so that you can take spotters for these things. But I mean, if you're just spamming out on units, inexperienced, you can't go cheaper than that, and that gives you a lot of HE, and that's 3-inch HE. They're very, very deadly. And then another rifle platoon, again, cut back. Inexperienced commander, 2 squads of 10 riflemen. So that's 40 riflemen that is moving across the board. That's a lot of bodies, and I think you're going to need it. And then another heavy weapons platoon with an inexperienced commander and another 3 inexperienced heavy mortar teams. The total for this is wrong, though. It should be 1,254. I'll just correct that as well. Ooh, what's happening here? somebody's opening teams. So the total here should be 1254. So for most tournaments, I think this needs to be cut back by 4 points. Where could you do that? You could easily do that by cutting down the medium mortars to medium mortars. Sorry, the heavy mortars to medium mortars. That would give you a lot more points. Or you could cut like one rifleman from one of the platoons. For Americans, you're getting an extra shot per 3 man, so it doesn't need to be 10-man squads. But I mean, yeah. So how many order dice is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 order dice. All infantry platoons here. All everything, like there's no chaff here, right? There's nothing that's like that can't do a thing. There's no mule teams here, right? Everything here is actually capable of reaching out and hurting the enemy and doing work. And that is, yeah. It's not a leaf blower list. I think we're going to have to come up with a new term for this list, because I've seen a couple of lists like this that lean into the mortars, and it's a new army build that we're seeing for version 3, which is exciting. How would you combat this though? You would need a lot of direct fire so that all of these heavy mortars get shot down, but all that direct fire is also going to have to contest with the MMG teams and the riflemen moving towards you. I'm not sure how I would deal with this. Anywho, let me know in the comments, and yeah, that was it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.